Hey everybody, what's going on? Helmight here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. Today I wanted to do a bit of a different video than what I normally do and kind of go through my tips for success in the bot lane. And starting with the bot lane, specifically because the bot lane is one of the hardest lanes to be in solo queue, because you're in a duo lane that emphasizes teamwork and partnership, but you have never seen your partner at all before in your life probably. And so it's difficult to come up with synergy off the bat. So I've got a few tips here to make it a little bit easier for you guys if you're playing with a random AD carry or a random support, to make your lives a little easier. First thing to understand is that there are essentially three different kinds of lane matchups in the bot lane. And these are poke, sustain, and all in. Poke lanes are basically exactly that. You are intending to poke the enemy laners to whittle them down and eventually create lane pressure that way. If they are always recalling, you're getting free damage on towers, and eventually you can whittle it down. And a good example of this would be like Caitlyn Nami. Caitlyn has really good range, really good auto attack harass. Nami also has fairly good harass, especially with the Eon. And so you can kind of poke away at your opponent's health, chip it down, then reach the tower, force them to lose CS on their tower, and chip their tower down as well. All in is exactly what it sounds like. You are trying to pick up kills early on in the game. You're looking for one decisive fight to go in, do a bunch of damage to your lane opponent, and either force summoner spells or outright kill them. It's the most aggressive kind of lane and the most risky, but it can also be the most snowbally. A Leona that gets ahead, for example, is going to be a nightmare to deal with, but a Leona that falls behind isn't that effective. A good all-in lane example would be the Leona Ezreal that we're actually playing right now. The final type of composition for the bot lane is sustain. In a sustain comp, you're basically looking to just survive the laning phase and outlast your opponents through health advantage. They will exhaust their mana bars and their health bars just trying to kill you, but if you continue to heal and continue to just sustain through the lane, eventually they'll have no choice but to back, and you guys will be able to get more CS that way. It's not exactly the greatest lane matchup to create pressure for yourself, but it's very, very good if all you're looking to do is reach the mid game or the late game without giving up too much early. A good example of a sustain lane is Soraka Twitch. Soraka to keep the Twitch alive, Twitch just needs to farm to late. And each kind of type of lane has counters each other actually. Poke beats all in, because if all in is chunked low, they'll never be able to find the decisive fight they're looking for. All in beats sustain, because you can't sustain through if all in is killing you. And sustain beats poke. You can't poke down a lane with a Soraka. It's a proven fact. The Soraka will always keep her AD carry alive. So you really want to know what kind of position you're looking at here. And the enemy bot lane in this game in particular has a very strange bot lane comp in that Nami with a Lucian. Lucian is intended to be an early game bully, so he should be played alongside someone who can set up plays for him aggressively. But instead he has a Nami, who really is more of a poke or sustain champion, so she doesn't synergize with him very well. So, but in this matchup, me and my pal King Damocles are playing Leona Ezreal, which is a very aggressive bottom lane. We are looking to set up kills, we are looking to find aggression, especially under the Nami. So we're basically looking for an opportunity to make a play happen and get kills, as just happened right there. So that's what you're kind of looking to do, and knowing what lane matchup you are also tells you what your win conditions are. In this matchup in particular, if we don't get kills, we're not going to be quite as effective. We kind of want to be looking for this, whereas in their matchup, again, it's a bit of a weird hybrid they have, and Nami and Lucian are not that synergistic with each other. And this kind of brings up my next point, in that the support kind of dictates how the lane is going to play. So Leona with Soraka is a sustain matchup. Ezreal's just going to be trying to last hit with Q the best he can. Soraka keeps him topped up. And this is a good matchup to have if you're facing something super aggressive like Leona Ezreal, or Lucian Ezreal, for example. However, when you have Ezreal with Leona, then it becomes an all-in lane, because Ezreal can burst fairly effectively, Leona amplifies his damage and also has the lockdown. It becomes very effective that way. So knowing what kind of comp you're running will help you know what your win conditions are in lane, what you should be doing, especially as a support player, and also lets you know kind of to think about what support you should be playing with your AD carry. The other thing I want to talk about is knowing when you can trade. So in the bot lane especially, because you have two champions, you need to be looking at three people's positioning as opposed to just your own and your opponent's. You need to know where your AD carry is, where their bot lane is, and where you are at all times. And the easiest way I've found is basically to look at where the support is standing. If the support is standing forward of the AD carry, they're basically looking to play aggressively. They're trying to signal to their AD carry, I want to play up, I want to be poking, I want to be looking for an engage, we're trying to make things happen. If the support is standing behind the AD carry, it's because they're trying to play more defensively. They're saying, back up, we're just going to be looking to farm this out, we don't want to go ahead and fight right now. Ideally, though, before you go for a trade, your AD carry and support should be standing right next to each other. So you do want to be looking to, because that way you're both in range of the enemy champion. If the support is standing forward, for example, and the AD carry is too far behind, so if the support does find a fight, or if they get engaged upon, the AD carry is too far away. By the time they reach there, the fight might already be over and you lost the trade. So you do want to be standing next to each other if you are going to be getting into a fight. The other thing to look at this is knowing how the matchup is supposed to play. So if you, again, in this matchup, for example, if you know you're Nami, you're squishy, you're just trying to heal it up, and you're against a Leona Ezreal, especially ones who have picked up kills earlier in the game, you really can't afford to be playing aggressively. You need to say, you know what, we have to play back, we need to be playing this defensively, because if the Leona gets onto me with a Zenith Blade, I'm going to die, or I'm going to burn a summoner spell, and they're going to win that trade effectively. So realizing when you can trade and when you can't is very important. The other thing to notice is that you have to watch the minions. If you have a lot of CS, if your wave is pushing in on your tower, you really can't afford to go for a trade right then, because otherwise your AD carry will miss out on farm. If you're the AD carry, you will miss out on farm. Don't go for the trade. You should just be looking to let the wave push to your tower and pick up as much CS as you can. Finally, know your overall role in the game. If you're a late game AD carry like Twitch, you really don't want to be looking for early aggression unless you just find the perfect setup. Like Thresh happens to land a hook onto the Soraka and the Ezreal's nowhere to be found. Sure, go for it. But generally you want to be trying to just scale up into the late game and play, and eventually you'll become a god and you don't have to worry about it. Meanwhile, if you're playing someone like Lucian, you want to be looking for early pressure because he is more of an early game bully. So you want to be playing aggressively. And this kind of dictates which supports go with what AD carries. Twitch doesn't really want somebody like Leona because he's not that great at the follow-up. He doesn't have that much damage early on. He just kind of wants to wait and farm it out. So better support would be someone like a Nami, like a Soraka, or like a Thresh to keep him safe with all the Thresh's crowd control. Meanwhile, Lucian, who wants to be playing aggressive early, might find someone like an Annie or a Leona more effective, because that way they can set up plays for him to go in and do a bunch of damage on the enemy laners. I hope you guys enjoy this. This was a little bit of a different video than what I normally do, so please let me know what you guys thought. If you have any tips of your own, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to read through each and every single one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please go ahead and leave a like, and if you really enjoy the video, go ahead and subscribe. I upload a video every Monday, Friday, and on patch days, which should be tomorrow, by the way. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will talk to you all later.